We are recording.
Recording?
Checka. I got no slapback now.
I quit Spotify. I don't.
Really? I still got it open. Oh no. Okay, well maybe let's write all this down. Okay. Hey everybody. So let's write this down. I think part 2, we got to make sure you have Spotify off and I have Spotify on. But part 1, first, we have to have an echo on the call for 7 minutes.
Yes.
Right? Because you want to recreate
9.
it in the right order, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know what? This should be added to the appendix of checklist manifesto. Oh, I'm opening drafts. Hopefully. Now I truly don't trust myself.
Well, and, okay, because hey everybody. Well, so what happened?
Hey.
What happened was the last couple or so times, occasionally, is for whatever reason, I get a ha 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 ha, whatever that is, probably quarter second delay with a slapback that you get sometimes. Like, you would get that a lot back in the day with like physical boards because you forgot you had some bus turned on and a loop to something, or you know what I mean. And so we sometimes track that down. And but if you want to really recreate the situation that caused it, I think that's why they make you drink all that stuff before you get a colonoscopy. Same idea.
I need to dig.
I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up a little bit.
Oh boy!
Hey Alex, should this be the show, or do you want to clean open?
Oh, this should absolutely be the show. Mostly because I will be.
Okay, we're good.
I will be looking what you need to do before a colonoscopy, unless.
Oh, are you thinking about?
I don't need to know about.
One?
I have heard of not quite elective ones, but isn't that
is this something in your community? I'm pretty sure. And then the punchline of the joke is he says to the doctor, "Read the card. Read the card." That used to be a really funny joke.
A rabbi talks into an asshole.
No. It was a guy who went to get his butt looked at, and he started making noises when the doctor started examining his butt. And the doctor said, "I think you're just here because you want me to look at your butt." And then the guy comes back. He says, "Look, doctor, you got to see me. I'm in terrible condition." He drops his pants. There's a dozen long-stemmed roses with thorns in his ass. And the doctor says, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this?" And the guy goes, "Read the card. Read the card."
Okay. That's it.
The thorns make it funny, I think.
No.
I think thorns are implied on a rose, but when you say there's a butt thorn title, butt thorn. That sounds like one of those 18th century English novels that I was supposed to read and never did.
Ooh.
The Tale of Governor Buttthorn.
Buttthorn. Well, no, it wouldn't be pronounced. I would read that.
Buttthorn.
Yes, exactly.
Are you like that with St. John? You ever notice in England if they say like St. period John? You know how they say that in England?
St. John.
Worse. Oh God, that was so hot. You just sounded like Diana.
St. John. That's true.
St. John.
Like, ooh, I like that, like his evil twin, like his Wario, like the Sin Jim.
I was talking about this just last night with my kid. That's so interesting. We were watching hockey and talking about these 3 brothers who have the last name Hughes. And one of them is a lot better than the other 2. And I said, it's kind of like being Minecraft Holmes, as we used to call him. Because like, the thing is, or like Salieri, where you're like, Jesus Christ, in any other situation, this guy, this would be the greatest detective mind you've ever encountered. Unfortunately, his brother is a 10 times better mind. He's played by Mark Gatiss in the TV program.
Is that really how I pronounce his name? Kind of like, I don't know.
His name's no. It's because I had a little kid who said Minecraft Holmes. I think it's MYC.
Did he really? That's amazing. Yes. But is it because I still don't really know if it's Greg Davies or Greg Davis, and I choose not to.
I would love to talk about this. No one else would, but yeah, MYCROFT, I believe. The thing is, like the brothers, the Punchy brothers in the Kinks. It's spelled in a way that Americans would pronounce Davies, but it's pronounced in Britain as Davis.
Okay.
And that's why I say it that way. And, I hope you'll give me credit for this. Certain other podcast hosts certainly won't. Is like, I don't do it unless I think it's important to get it right. But just sticking to your guns because you're American. Look what that's gotten. I assume I'm still right.
Louisiana
Purchase. Who's that?
Yes, on January 6th, Louisiana, Sixers. That was everyone thought that was funny except you.
It's because it didn't make any sense.
Yes, it did. It's
when you sent me.
Listen, you weren't
into
sports at the time, so maybe that was it.
You don't know me. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know me.
You didn't know who the Sixers were, not just the joke, but the basketball team.
I'm gonna do something I rarely do, which is I'm gonna address our listeners because I worry that my being here
unseemly. All right, sorry.
I worry that my helping you does in fact that we might be codependent. Or something where like I'm covering up.
We say interdependent now. Pardon. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm worried that we might be transdependent, and I'll tell you why. Because one time you I forget what was involved, but you sent me like little presents, like you sent me a sweet little, like it might have been a gift for my kid. It might have been when you sent the corgi planter, but in any case, you sent a really sweet thing to the house. But you also included a little glassine bag with several stickers for the Philadelphia basketball team in it.
Yeah,
who are called the Philadelphia 76ers. And I think for a real long time, I just didn't know why you'd sent them. And then one day you said to me, like, obviously, I'm the fucking idiot. You said that's because we were recording when January 6th happened.
Yes.
So that's why you sent me basketball stickers, and I was supposed to know that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You're the one with the good memory. I
got to give you credit. You're not caving. You're acting like it's normal.
No, I'm digging in. Listen, I almost sent another thing in September when we were recording, and another big thing happened.
Recent September?
Yes, last September. Just another big event for that crowd, you know. And
is this when things were still like all ice stuff and all that?
No.
Anyways,
it was,
you were, and so what made you decide not to send it? Is it because it would have been wackadoo and not made any sense at all?
No, it was in poor taste, or as my spouse said, "Don't be a monster. Someone will know."
Oh, that is really good advice. You were
posting about that thing. Yeah, you don't want that to be on your file card. I don't.
You're not gonna tell me what this is, are you? It's okay. It's not important.
In the after show.
Okay. But I think we're doing it now. Do you want to do your little intro?
This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge: things you miss from church.
Church stuff you miss.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah. But yours is funny too. Yours is funny too. It's just I take a dark pleasure in how wrong you are all the time.
It's
like you somehow have managed to avoid everything but the right thing.
Many folks are saying this. Really? However, I was ashamed because I didn't listen to the after show last week, and then I'm like, but this is my one. I should do that. And then I was scanning through the transcript.
Don't feel like you have to listen to the show. I'm just glad you recorded.
No, I love. No. And then I was like, I know that it does break from the style guide, but I'm not sure. So I figured,
yes, fair enough. And you brought this up. You won't remember this, but because of your poor memory, I think one of your compensating things is you were like, it was clear that you were not. At the end of the episode, you could tell it was unusual, and you pointed that out. And I think I gave a papal dispensation, if you'll pardon my saying.
Yes,
but no, but I think that's roughly the idea. That's roughly we don't have to talk about it right now. That's the problem is if we talk about it, mention it now, it seemes like we have to talk about it now. We really don't. We can talk about whatever you want. We don't even need a reason.
Straight up, this challenge fucked me up and it made me sad in a good way. It made me contemplative. It made me think about you a lot, Merlin Mann. And it made me reread.
Feelings are complicated. These kinds of feelings are very feelings and memory and all that stuff. I'm having a lot of those complications right now.
Oof. What would you like to share?
Oh, no. I meant mostly about my kid, going through a lot of like, oh, here's what the next thing's going to be kind of stuff, where it's like kind of unavoidably like a locomotive heading in the direction of the future that like I'm lucky to just have a chance to jump on in time.
Oh, you made it.
Oh, you okay? Oh my God, you all right?
Oh yeah, no,
Good.
I'm thinking about that and thinking, I do not want you to share anything publicly that you do not want to, but
I would like you to share things publicly you don't want to.
You know what? A while ago, friend of the show, Kathy, was like, how publicly asked me, you share a lot publicly, and what are you okay with sharing and not okay, and how do you know? And I think my response was, and it became a Clarence Thomas sort of like, I know it when I'll see it type of situation, and it's just if it's
That's not Clarence Thomas.
I don't know. Was it Scalia? I just know it was one of them that doesn't.
Justice Potter, a long time ago.
Oh, that was a long. Oh, wow.
No, Clarence Thomas is the one with the pubes on the Diet Coke who can be bribed with a motorhome.
Okay, was it him or his
with a
wife
motorhome
that he has a special Scalia? I like to.
I think he passed.
My religion teacher said in a very cagey way, you know what? I am so glad that Justice Scalia lived to see gay marriage legalized across the United States. And I was like, what a great way of putting that. Because this week I listened to a lot of podcasts about not just Catholicism, but like queer faith and stuff. Yeah, there's a show that I will lightly recommend to people.
Yeah, put it in notes. What is it?
I've already forgotten. Seriously? It's not uncertain. Unholier Than Thou. And hosted by a former, kind of like by lapsed Catholic. It's more of that can mean a million things, but another queer person who grew up extremely Catholic. His dad wanted him to be a priest, so he's got a whole lot going on.
That's how Stephen Fry started out.
Yeah,
he was a priest.
Really?
Then he went
what?
to jail.
Oh,
he had a rough 70s.
Didn't we all, though?
Yes. Especially for those of us who were negative 20 years old.
Well,
you know what? Negative 20 is a painful age for everybody, especially the unborn, and that's why we have to protect them. Sweet, precious embryos.
No, I was what's it called? A twinkle, or as what's his name? The old queen would draw on Taskmaster, a square sperm. I think I would be a good.
What are you talking about, Julian Clary?
Yes.
An aging homosexual. Cunnilingus. Sam just it's not that he regrets going to Serbia, he just feels like he didn't use his time well there.
I don't even know which one that's from.
That's the challenge where you have to do a bunch of challenges and they're Velcroed to you, and you have to talk about, at one point you have to say things you regret, and then you have to shake hands and you have to keep eye contact. It's a good one. I am balls deep in season 7 rewatch right now. It's now officially season 7 is now officially my recommended season.
I've got a new strategy.
I took you off for queer Catholicism.
No. This is a new strategy for, if you're approaching anything really, and you're trying to get someone into it. I hear that you like Taskmaster, and some people have stopped listening to your recommendations for Taskmaster, and I think they're wrong. Initially, my spouse and a friend, was it?
I can't change other people, but I can.
Well, but you can
trick
them.
I have to change what I. Well, yeah. Oh, I see. You're trying to be practical. I get it.
Yes.
You trick them.
So
that's why I try different angles.
Because
it's obvious people haven't watched it. If people watched it, they'd be really excited. They obviously haven't. they haven't gotten into it enough, and that's a problem. I don't feel that way about that many things.
You gotta.
But Toy Story and chocolate, you know.
Oh, deep MPU pull. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I fast over the scene in Toy Story 3 where there's the canonically in my mind the last one where there's some fire, and I don't like it.
That's because Toy Story 3 is actually about the Holocaust.
Yes.
People don't talk. No one's talking about this, and so you listen to that podcast. And it's complicated, Alex, and we don't leave any. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we leave less of ourselves behind than we would like to think, and sometimes we're really just, I don't know, kind of like just kind of sticking part of ourselves into a shoebox somewhere that we might rediscover someday. I mean, I feel like I have memories every few days where I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I do remember that thing happening. And then that makes me think of another thing. And then I go, oh, I remember the wallpaper in that room. And oh, I remember a toy I used to, you know what I mean? Like you get those weird sort of like chain memories sommes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just because you can't call it straight to mind.
There's a weird thing that happened to me. Not weird, I guess I should have predicted it. As I was going through making my list, I was visiting like really old photo albums that I had previously hid in photos because you can like say don't show this person anymore. And
yeah.
Like I realized the biggest thing I have a fun list too. This won't all be sad, but the biggest thing I miss is the not just community, but the individuals who were like, who, you know, it wasn't the Catholic friends who were like, oh, you're queer, fuck you, goodbye. Because that's kind of, you know, when that's coming, you get a vibe that's almost predictable with some people. It's the folks who like are like, okay, you're kind of palatable. You're not dating anyone of the same sex. There's still maybe a chance.
Oh, is it almost like a form of passing?
It's like no like when you've
I mean, you're not getting clocked as an active sinner on Maine.
I thought that was the case.
Oh no, you're David Brent. You thought you were pulling it off, but you weren't. Oh no.
I had two of my religion teachers actively discussing this behind my back in a positive way, making sure that both me and another...
Are you taping their calls? How'd you know?
Later. years later, they were like, yeah, I made sure that you and other friend I had at the time, we were really worried that both of you might be bullied, but you never came out. So, and I'm like, how did you know? But also I think it's interesting that like they didn't just do that for us. They did that for other kids that were anyone who might have been potentially bullied. But as I'm sure I've said before, luckily the high school I went to was weirdly almost accidentally progressive for a Catholic high school. So as long as you weren't, you know, flying your rainbow flag, or you didn't know, like me, it was fine. But what who I miss are the people who were like, okay, you might be a sinner, but this is more of a venial sin, not a mortal sin, kind of like a, you know, like sex before marriage type of thing, and you'll grow out of it. And the people who fade away and then inexplicably will send a message of, hey, I'm really disappointed in your lifestyle, which is an odd thing to say to a person, but like pretty... again, I don't want to say common, but like it's something that at least the people who I knew in high school and in grade school, like through youth group, who stayed really committed to their faith, part of that is almost, it's a little like 12-steppy. Like eventually you're supposed to not cut people off, but again, not convert. They don't say evangelize, but they say, bring people back to the faith. Like that
Well,
is
I
a
mean, to
goal.
use now again, we always have to. God, there's so much. We could do 5 episodes just on the differences between our two religions, and then our two, if I may say, congregations, or like my church versus your
Yep.
parish, like because it's all so different, so different, so different, so different. But the wait, what were you saying?
I was
No,
just
I had something smart to say, and I forgot what it was because I'm still.
you
waking
were
up.
talking about the not conversion or not
Oh yeah,
like
but another one
evangelicals,
like
but
I don't know if it was Peter or it must have been in the Gospels. It might have been Jesus who said it. But being a shepherd is it's such a strong analogy in both of what we consider the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. It's such a strong analogy. It becomes a huge analogy, especially in the New Testament. The idea of, because you got to remember, we're coming out of the Old Testament and the God who makes you put blood on your door and all that kind of stuff. And like, someday there'll be this Messiah, the Messiah, the Messiah. You get through those boring middle books that are all some guy's first name in the Old Testament. And like, I couldn't name most of them, but then you finally get to, here's the Messiah, we think. But that instead of being a retributive, beat the shit out of everybody for being a sinner person, he acts more like a shepherd. And it's not the shepherd's job to slay the sheep. It's the shepherd's job to keep the sheep healthy and to keep them as a flock, sort of.
Yes.
Do you know? And like,
Yep.
and I think that is, maybe that's even too much of a metaphor, and it's a little too gentle. Where like when I was in Sunday school, there were all kinds of photos of like Jesus sitting around with kids and little farm animals and stuff. And like, it was always like a big part of the iconography of little kid Jesus stuff was that he was like a cool guy who, hung out with weirdos. That was one of his USPs, I think, at the time. But not everybody, I think that doesn't feel, not radical. It doesn't feel Jesus-y enough or God-y enough for some people, and they do become more retributive, where they do tell you that you're a sinner, or they do try to, instead of trying to inspire or motivate you to find the faith in yourself, not in yourself in a new age sense, but in the sense of like, if you like, in Protestantism, being born again, to discover a personal relationship with God. Instead of that, it's more like, no, you just keep coming to these meetings and we beat the shit out of you until you admit you suck.
And that's, I think, one of the differences with Catholicism is the joke of the guilt. It is very real, but it's even up through the Vatican of like, hey, what you're doing, absolutely a sin, but we still want you here. We still want you present. We still want you to be part of the flock. You can't take the Eucharist, and you can't.
Right.
It depends on how you can participate in funerals. Blah, blah, blah. And I didn't.
But
realize
you're on
this
your back
week-
foot for sure, right? You feel like, like you're always on, to use a phrase from Animal House. You're on double secret probation. Like you've always been in trouble. We've always been at war with
Yes.
East Asia, and like you've always been in trouble. And the thing that is a funny cognitive bias or cataract that you don't catch till later is that everybody in the church kind of feels that way, because that's the point. It's like, we need to make everybody in this church. It's not everybody else's original sin. Like, it's your part of the problem. But the part that makes it so extra lonely is there's this extra level of guilt, a different kind of guilt on top of it. Like, not the same kind of guilt as, I accidentally had a bite of burger on Friday or something. Like you said, venial versus mortal. But also just in terms of like, well, here's what it says. It says here, a venial sin is a lesser offense, but mortal sin is a grave conscious violation. That like you did it and you shouldn't have done it. And that's the problem. And I don't know if I'm making any sense with this, but like, you feel like you're the worst sinner in the world, and you're the loneliest sinner. There's nobody else who's ever been as bad as you, and you don't realize how many other people feel the same way, even if they feel guilty and terrible about different things. And my concern is when that becomes part of the culture and the institution, is to keep you situated that way, because maybe that's an authority issue, which I have a lot of. But like, I just don't like stuff where we try to rule by fear, rather than almost anything else.
This is again, it is a bit of a different thing because it's less a fear, or at least for me personally, as well as how my more, again, like liberal-ish Catholic community was. It wasn't the fear of like a hell or brimstone, but that fear of not being cast out, but the loneliness and the thing that I didn't realize I missed until this week. I almost miss not being chided, but there, like I do. You know, there were people when someone's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I really don't approve of your lifestyle," which is it's very funny. I
like
reread a Facebook message.
To use the coding of the 90s, the lifestyle you've chosen.
Right. But there's like this weird, it is like a codependent thing where I'm like, oh God, I remember at least that person reaching out, and it's like a little bit of just a typical Catholic like masochism type thing of like, well, at least they, you know, it's not the Don Draper, I don't even think about you type thing. They're still thinking about it. But when, it was very weird that I don't know. I don't know if that is as much an evangelical thing where. I don't know. I want to hear about your, because we had similar experiences in terms of sort of like a youth group situation.
Yeah, right. There's so many differences in like. Obviously, part of the reason we're talking about it is because we have these differences. But like, I don't want to, go off on this for 30 minutes. But like, it slightly occurred to me. It occurred to me that this was probably going to be more emotionally complex for you than it is for me. I don't think I really thought about it enough to go, oh, this is going to be a lot more complicated for you. I mean, a lot of my stuff is it sounds like I'm describing Disney World or something compared to what
I have fun ones though too. Don't worry.
No. I didn't mean it that way. But that's one of the things. So like, I'll talk about it on any level you want. But it's, I mean, just one meta thing that I realized though is, well, there's several meta. I don't know. I see. You shouldn't let me talk. But like, it's weird because like. And whenever I say anything approaching this, I never mean this as please listen closely and learn from me and change your life. I don't mean it that way. But for example, like in looking back at things in my life, as Syracuse and I just talked about on an upcoming episode, like the whole thing with homework. We tend to, spoiler alert, we tend to agree that homework is mainly a way to coerce and to retain control over both children and their parents. It's a means of control, mostly. And I think, there's a thing I said in the document about how be careful of people who try to motivate you by fear, because that's all they have and they know it and they think you might know it. So once you realize that somebody, all they have, which is ironic or paradoxical, is that like you realize that this person who's been trying to, let's not even say motivate, control you by keeping you scared or uneasy or anxious or unresolved. The people who try to leave you in, like the New York Times or the church, the people who try to leave you in that situation, they benefit from you being like that, whether they mean to or not, and that becomes a form of coercion. But so I never want to give this as like a prophylactic or a cure, but honestly, there's some stuff where I get, there's the stuff you were raised with. It's just such bullshit. And you're like, oh yeah, people, you do this, like eat your vegetables, play a sport, be on time, wear a tie, say please and thank you. And they're all such vastly different areas of life with so many different kinds of consequences, so many different reasons for doing all these things you're told to do as a kid. Again, a huge amount of which are total horseshit and just about authority. But it might take you 20, 30, 40, 50 years to go like, oh, some of that actually did make a lot of sense. Learning please and thank you and saying yes, sir, and no, sir. Like, I think there's worse things in life than having a kid learn to be respectful unless they have a reason not to be. I don't think that's a weird thing. I don't think that's going to get your child into a van. I just think it teaches your child to like not act like they're on a sitcom. It's very off-putting to people. But like for example, like one of the ones I wrote down that's really generic is just the routines. of church, which I think is the comfort of a lot of people. Like a lot of people who end up, not just the Easter and Christmas people, but sometimes people who are really at rock bottom are like, I just need to go to church. Like I need to have that. I know how every church service goes. It goes this way. And over the years, as you travel, as you age, as people die, as others are born, you continue, like especially in Catholicism, mostly, you are coming back to this same thing. It's always, it's really a solid thing. You know what you're always getting back to.
Unless they change, and also with you too, with your spirit. And
they should have announced that more broadly. It fooled John Mulaney. But you, it's really early here. I don't want. I'm talking too much. It's gonna take me forever to figure all this out. It's sometimes the things. They're the things that excite you or thrill you or something like a roller coaster. That it's scary and it's fun. Like it's both of those things. Is it scary or is it fun? Oh, it's fun, but it's also kind of scary. And in fact, one of the reasons it's fun is because it's scary. Like that's part of what makes a roller coaster a roller coaster. Does that mean it has to either be fun or scary? Well, there's a whole bunch of shit from your entire fucking life that is like that. That is a real mixed bag in a lot of ways. And I just have to suspect that for both of us, there are things about this that are a real mixed bag. But so when those routines, and I don't know if people can figure out what I mean by routines, but in our case, you go to, there's usually, like I said, there'd be like a church sandwich where you'd have 9 a.m. or something like 8:30 or 9 a.m. Sunday school. The sanctuary main ceremony thing would be at 10. And then there'd be all those same Sunday school classes taught again at like 11 and 30, something like that. Anyway, the point is there were two opportunities. You could go to the early Sunday school or the late Sunday school. Sanctuary was always in the middle. I thought it was a pretty smart setup. But I'll tell you what, most families were very much one kind of family or the other, right?
Was there a reason for that?
Well, because, think about, what I always think about is babies, like when you've got kids and you got to do, this is really random, it could be work schedules, or sleep hygiene.
Oh, so more of a logistical thing?
Old people, can you even guess which one old people go to? Old people, you couldn't get it early enough for them. They would love to be there at 5 if they could.
Oh, we had 5 a.m. mass.
We're dressed sharp as a tack. Oh God, I would not want to be the altar day for that. Ugh, hard pass. But anyways,
just stayed up the whole night.
Just the routine. So I'm just trying to separate. Though there's so many things I want to separate. One of them is that I do miss the routines and the regularity and the knowability and the even the sense of emotional up and down of a church day that often ended with going to the cafeteria at the mall to go out to lunch after church. That was part of it. That was those routines largely were really neat. Routines that are in the service of deliberately encoding somebody with terrible feelings, I'm not as excited about. But singing in choir was a lot of fun. And I liked, but I guess then the thing I'm struggling to get at is it's stuff where at the time it was the hugest pain in the ass in the world. But oddly enough, now I do look back at it with, I think, with pleasure, of good memories, right? Stuff that at the time, I didn't like being basically forced to learn how to play trombone. I fucking hated it. I hated the instrument. I didn't like it. But no offense to anybody. No, sorry to the tromboners out there. But I just could never get into it. Accordion, my compulsory accordion lessons, hated that. Because it was on Saturday morning at 10:30, right as the new season of cartoons was coming out. It was the worst. Anyways, and all of those kinds of things, I don't think I got a ton out of being forced to do those things. And yet my proximity to a lot of very kind strangers who like to sing in a room together really did have huge benefits to me as an 8-year-old.
When did you stop going to church? Was it a just kind of like a fading out as you got older type thing, or when you moved?
It was very decisive. So I don't go into the long story, but when my dad got sick, I ended up going to Vacation Bible School. So we started going to this one church when I was 7. Flash forward, God, what seems like decades, but just 5 years when we moved to Florida and my mom remarried. that's when we stopped going because my stepfather wasn't interested in that at all. He was one of the Orthodoxes, not Russian Orthodox, but one of the Eastern Orthodox maybe.
So actively, like
no, not actively. No, he was religiously, personally, he was a piece of shit. It's just that he was from Sarajevo, so dobro večer, kako ste. I bought a book of Serbian phrases as a child, hoping that would bring me closer to my stepfather. Asked me if it worked.
Oh, did it work, Merlin? Oh God.
Yeah, that was after I came back from the military school he sent me to. But anyways, I want to give you runway. I want to give you blue sky and green ocean here to go wherever you want to go. And I don't want to make it difficult for you. I don't want to make it complicated emotionally unless you want it to be. Talk about whatever you want.
I mean, it's has and will always be emotionally complicated, and more so now just because as much as I try to not engage in any sort of discourse, a lot of American Catholics really want to talk about the Pope and how hashtag not my Pope, including my, like, it's become more of a thing because of my in-laws. And I think I've mentioned this to you. Matthew and I, when we go to our in-laws, we are not allowed to sleep in the same bed, which is very funny to me still, as I'm like, what do you, I'm like, ooh,
when
that
you visit, when you bring along your portfolio of fast casual dining gift cards.
Yes. Yeah.
And you stay with Matt's family, you are discouraged from being a couple.
Yeah. Oh, correct. We're
maybe I might be popping the stack a little bit there. I doubt that it's because, the bed's too small or something. No, it's like you're not really, and when you're here, you're not family.
No, yeah, we are.
It's the opposite of Hospitaliano.
I'm still Matt's friend, which I didn't know that until recently, until Christmas, until I was introduced to them. I'm like,
me.
Huh. Which sounds like really.
I wonder how they feel if you introduce Matt's parents as, oh, those are Matt's friends. We've been married for 40 years, and you're like, oh yeah, but I mean, we don't really recognize that. So
yeah, and I mean,
your life is. If I squint, I can see how your life is a way a human would live, but no, it doesn't really fit the rubric. Nice try. I got dinner.
And that sounds like really, for a lot of people, that would be really complicated and tough, but that's not, it really isn't for us, because
you gotta pick
life
your
is
shots
weird
in
and
life,
brains are weird. Yeah. And it's much more like, again, like the weird, like biting, not just biting, or not even biting, like the sad ache is much more like, oh, this big part of my past, which was Catholic school and really deep friendships in Catholic school, including, I think it was a couple weeks ago, you're like, sometimes you say she, and I know that you're talking about a trans woman.
Oh yeah, when you oversell it, yeah.
And it's because I don't have nearly as many friends who are cis women, because growing up, there wasn't a lot of things we had in common except for youth group or peer ministry.
Just sitting around talking about boys.
It was,
you love talking about boys.
Oh, love. We talked about the iPhone, and actually every single day, the peer ministers, they were called in
PEER.
Yes.
And that would be, here's my word. Ready for Merlin's word of the day? Laity.
Laity.
Did I use it right?
Laity. In this context,
Laity.
Yes.
It's like people who are in the church but are not like official, like employees of the Pope. Laity, lay people, as distinct from the clergy. Second definition, ordinary people. But like the peer people, are they not monks or anything, right?
No. It was basically like, hey, you're the hall monitors for Jesus type of situation. And we had a little chapel, and every day before lunch, we would have Eucharist or communion, as a lot of people know it it depends on the denomination. But that was just a daily thing that you would do with the same people, and it was like you said, that routine. And
you ever
just
think about how that priest has touched all of those?
Yes.
That's all I'd be thinking about. I'm not like the Howard Hughes type about stuff like that as much as a lot of people I know. But like Bob Mortimer, I have a much more casual relationship with hygiene. But but anyway, and so in our church, you take communion. People who'd been baptized, which I think means very different things with our two. People who've been baptized were encouraged to take communion, and that was in Sunday in the big service, in the meat of the church sandwich. And for you, though, there were people that would take communion or the Eucharist every day?
Yep. I was one of them. And what you can do is, as long as a priest has, as long as it has been transubstantiated, which in Catholic Church is like, yep, this is literally some Jesus.
You want to put those in a different container. You want to go, these ones are bread and these ones are Jesus. You want to mark them very, very clearly. Maybe even color code them. That's a life hack.
Some of them often come in like an Oreo or rather not an Oreo sleeve, but like the like an
Oreo
like
sleeves.
I hate it.
Come get it.
Our Jesus.
I just want to lighten the tone just real quick. But anyway, so you were saying about our Lord.
It was nice.
Please
because
don't eat the Jesus if the Jesus is just the bread.
Something that I missed that isn't any sort of like trauma based, something that I don't think I couldn't find any common denominations have Eucharistic adoration.
Common denominations. That's a great coinage. I think you confuse that with common denominators.
More
is that a thing? Common denominations?
The more
that sounds like a newsletter for hip Christian singles in the early 80s.
It does. Forget.
Find Christians in your area. Which area? Click to continue.
Oh,
Our menu items have recently changed. It's complicated for sure. I've done enough of mine. If you just want to be sad, I'll help you be sad.
No. Eucharistic adoration is this lovely thing.
Call it Eucharistic adoration. Is it like
you would.
Bimbofication. Did you see the interview with the dominatrix?
Oh, I did indeed. She's lovely.
That complicates the story, don't it? She knocked him out. You're not supposed to do that. That's omerta. You're not supposed to do that.
I think it's very.
I just think it's. I don't have an opinion about it. I just think it's interesting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not even asking the question. I'm just saying that, like, it's funny to me that the woman who accepted money from a guy for her to do this thing, the sexual thing she wanted, then narked him out because of her own sort of morals about it and the situation of trans people. And that's a crazy interesting kind of thing that I would not have anticipated be a change to this story as of a week and a half ago. We're talking here about the thing with Christine Noem's husband. I don't really want to get into it, but like it did kind of surprise me to see her, as they say, break her silence. Because the silence is what you pay for with a dominatrix, I imagine. Unless that's part of your thing.
I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but that she mentioned that.
It's called financial Eucharistic adoration. You keep just pumping quarters into the priest. He keeps giving you bread all day. Bread. Pump your quarters in a priest to the west and to the east. His hat comes to a point, if you know what I mean.
Two logistical questions for you. Circling back, did you have real bread when you had communion? And did the minister physically put it in your mouth?
No,
with his
these
hand?
are great questions. Okay,
that was our thing.
So just to as Greg would say, Greg Davies, draw a line under this. So what I've seen in, let's say, Spotlight is true. So no, there's a dude who's got it's been dressed, it's on the thing, and he says the body of Christ, right? And he puts and then the blood of Christ, and he sort of feeds it to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. No, in our church, it's interesting because, so did you take up collection, like, where people put donations in a plate? Did you guys have that as part of
Yes.
Okay.
Some
so like
were on did you have a basket that was on a stick?
No, that is so colonial. Wow.
Yep.
No, ours, no. No, ours, I don't want to go into huge amounts of detail. You usually have like kind of an opening. Basically everybody gets a church program, which is an 8.5 by 11 folded in half with like what's going to happen, and it's neat because the bulletin is actually pretty cool. God damn it. I haven't thought about this in a long time. The bulletin is hugely important. If you know what I mean by the church bulletin, it's a weekly thing they make in the office that they, make copies of, or, what was the thing with the puckety puck, the blue thing. But anyway, you get copies of this thing. Everybody gets one. It's folded in half and welcome to the church. And it has like what's going to happen. Like when you go to a wedding, and it'll show you everything that's going to happen in it so you can keep up. Some churches, you'll see this in The Walking Dead, like they have the numbers of the hymns up on the wall, right? They always know that's changed every week to know which hymns. If you see like, we're going to sing 107 and then 54 and da-da-da-da. Do you know what I mean? There's all these ways of kind of prepping
what
you.
What passages would be read.
Yes. Absolutely. Those would all be featured in the church bulletin. But then can I just say, on the back page, there'd be like news, like somebody who needs help with the thing, somebody who wants to donate a thing. And one that was really sweet was like, here's people who are in the hospital or sick at home who could really use a visit. That was always that was prominently on the back of every week's church bulletin. But so you go through, there's a little bit of light talk, there'd be some singing. And then at some point after usually like a reading, about a third of the way through at the first commercial break, that's when they would do, I think, it was communion, and then it was offertory, it was called. So communion, it's really funny because in my head, they're so linked, the donation part and the communion part, because they both involve these obviously very specifically designed for a Protestant church things you would buy from like a church supply store. Like one is a big round kind of a tray with slots for like 40 tiny little plastic cups in it. Excuse me.
Sorry,
that was a nice moment. With like 40 little tiny little, like not even a shot glass. I'm talking here about a thimble-sized plastic cup, or I think they were plastic, would fit in each of these little holes. And that one was slightly bigger. And then a slightly smaller version thing was something that looked exactly like the offertory plate, but it was just a thing with like, I don't know, like a doily in it and things that looked almost like Tic Tacs. So the Tic Tacs were the bread. They're in a pile. You pass them along and you grab them.
Wow.
And then you get the communion wine in those tiny little thimbles, plastic thimbles. It's just Welch's grape juice, not transubstantiated, but I don't need to tell you that. No, it was purely symbolic. And then after all that's done and the ushers have collected all the stuff, then you do offertory, and there's a song, usually an organ song, and they pass around the collection plate. And you either drop in some coins and dollars, or people who are regulars have a little envelope that they put their weekly pledge amount in.
And it was sort of understood, at least in our church, if you have an envelope, then you're kind of one of the big wigs, or you have...
I could see that for sure. At my church, it just meant more like, no, this is somebody who's like, I don't say belongs here. This is somebody who is a member here. Like, you don't get those envelopes if it's your third week.
Yeah, ours was
that means you've talked
belonging.
it means you've talked to the minister or the associate minister, and like you've worked out the whole, like, here's how we want to join this church, which is like can be a whole thing. You're welcome to come as much as you want. I mean, they don't lock the doors, like, really just come anytime, whatever. But anyhow, So that was our communion. But yeah, quite different. And again,
Yeah, we stand
not to be forgotten though. Yours is literally Jesus, and ours is grape juice.
Literally. Martin Luther was like, okay, listen, I can get behind a lot. I don't
Martin
like
Luther,
women.
he had 57 theses. He nailed them. The first one was just literally pump the brakes, you guys. Pump the brakes. Number one, pump the brakes. Hey, you guys need to really pump the brakes on this transubstantiation thing. Resolving your relationship with the Eucharistic tradition. Stuart Leopold. I'm back on Stuart Lee hard.
Really?
Coming over here. These days, you can be arrested and thrown in jail just for saying you're English. You get thrown in jail. You get arrested and thrown in jail just for saying you're English these days. Yeah, these days. He's 28 years old. I rewatched Childhood 2 nights ago.
Just piss on them.
Oh my God. It's just like, child's urine off an old man's face. Weren't nothing, Stu.
Oh God.
Oh, Stu, the traffic warden yelled at me today. Is it a problem, Grant? No, it's just an old man's, a young child's urine off an old man's face.
That's not funny.
Oh shit! I found a fucking gold. Well, this is not really probably your jam, but I found a gold mine in my scholarship. Mainly,
so not a shower, but a mine. Okay.
I got a bunch of what they're called red button extras. So like I think it's not iPlayer, but whatever. Is it iPlayer? But whatever the app that I guess you would play this on in England, like if you watch Stuart Lee's Comedy Vehicle, season 2, episode 1, and then you can also do the red button extras. I don't know anything about this. Sorry, everybody, if I'm getting this dead wrong, but they're basically like DVD extra type things, but that I found on YouTube. But it's like stuff like a ton of extra interviews with Armando Iannucci. But one of the best ones is you get to see how like he has a bunch of his really close friends and collaborators come out and perform on that same stage. So Kevin Eldon, Kevin Eldon, the guy who's in everything, the guy who's in every, the sketches at the end, like with the fish, get back in the sea, fin cunt. He's that one guy he's almost up. He's up there with Chris Morris in terms of like, he's been in like everything.
Oh.
He's worked with everybody, but he's a very funny comic and musician. All those really, really great, but also Stu, like, did you ever see any of the season of Testmaster with Lou Saunders and Ian Sterling? You've seen some of that, right?
Yeah.
Remember the Indian guy, Paul Sinha? Like it's interviewing Paul Sinha as a much younger comic when he was just a gay guy who recently quit being a doctor to become a comedian. And like Stu out of character kind of interviews him. And if you've ever seen Stu in an interview out of character, he's very gracious and kind and funny and not his character. I mean, way more so than say Larry David. I mean, the Stuart Lee character is a bit of a character, like Nigel Farage. But according to the Encyclopedia of Theater, a character is something that creates the impression of being human. I'm just quoting Stuart Lee bits now. He's 28 years old.
And I really thought, I'm like, Shakespeare or Stuart Lee? Shakespeare or Stuart Lee could go either way. I fell asleep during
Paul
Hamnet,
Nuttall,
so
selfish Paul Nuttall's of UKIP. He should go back to Liverpool and ensure the economic prosperity of Liverpool, because he is obviously the best and the brightest that they have to offer.
You could be quoting a saint.
He's seriously
right now.
worried about the economic future of Bulgaria. Can't doubt that.
This could be a Catholic bishop.
This is like church for me. This is my version of church. This is my church. That's good for you, Merlin. This is my church. They took away my spirit animal, so I had to find a church. Okay, I had
coming to Homer in the desert.
I had 5 things. The routines, the singing, Christmas Eve, Nice Strangers, and church camp. So, and
what about?
I'd like you to talk about yours, because I've once again monopolized the entire show.
No.
No.
Well, I miss the t-shirts very much. You've
talked about this. This is the like I'm don't finger me. I'm married to Jesus who farted. Yes. Those kinds of shirts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pet your dog.
Don't finger me. I'm married to Jesus.
Yes. Yeah, the church.
I'm sorry for our listeners. Don't let me step on your very funny bit. You've brought this up at least twice before. And remember when we tried to find stuff on the religious iconography store?
Oh, yeah.
Notes. And I'll get this from my thing. And remember, when I'm sending you links, I'm not saying you have to include them. I'm just offering.
Oh, I know.
But do you remember that? And we found like the hot statue woman, and like, that was a good challenge. That was an old Max challenge, right? Old Max, we called him. Was it a you and me challenge?
Old Max, yes.
Okay, find religious church store episode. Best Viagra travel hair replacement. I think I'm doing keyword optimization.
It's early there.
It's so early. I was up so late last night doing things I love. Tell our listeners about the T-shirts.
Oh, there was, I think I can include some, but there were ones that said things like, silly, like, touch your dog, not your date is my favorite. There was also...
And it's implicit in that your dog shouldn't be your date, I guess.
I know it's a double, like, listen, don't.
That's funny, Merlin. Well, you know what? I once sat next to a woman, a friend of my mother's who I love very much, and had a probably 10-minute conversation about how gay marriage was like letting people marry their dog.
That was a common, dogs and cars were the two like big
marrying
ones.
your car?
Yes.
Or having your dog marry your car. Oh boy, talk about getting cucked. Can you imagine if your dog, right? Here it is. No, it's not even that your dog fucked your car. That's too missionary position. What if your dog basically got real flirty and started throwing shapes and your car started fucking your dog? That is the ultimate American cuck. You sit in the cuck passenger seat. Wait, is that right? Cuck chair? Sorry, fuck. Let's see.
It's in the. That's a magazine article.
Imagine your next Zoom call with your shrink. Oh, something has been a very complicated development. Oh no, what happened? I don't know what happened. My dog started blowing my car. Your what? Your what? Started wetting? Your what? I just feel so betrayed. They were both rescues.